I have a sign here. It says, is there a doctor in the house? Have you ever been? No, there isn't. Have you ever been sick with a fever? Who takes care of you when you're not feeling well? Mom, dad, grandma, probably everyone. Make sure that you're okay. I remember when I was a little girl, I had a next door neighbor, and her name was Alice. And Alice was a nurse, and she actually came over to the house when I was sick. Because back in those days, they made house calls. The doctors came to your house, and I had the measles, and I had a very high fever. And I'm sure my temperature was very high on not a thermometer like this, because they weren't made back then, but a different kind of thermometer. But I remember her taking my temperature because it was such a high temperature. I brought my first aid kit in here, or maybe some of these things that when you're not feeling well, you might have. Maybe a Band-Aid, yeah. Maybe some medicine if you're not feeling well. If your tummy is hurt, some Pepto-Bismol, Tylenol, which might help take away some aches and pains, and another thermometer. Or if you have a cold. All of these things are what we have today. But back in Bible times, there was no medicine like this. And Jesus was the one that went around from town to town. And he went to this town, and he went with his friends James and John, and he went to the house of Simon and Andrew because they heard that the mother-in-law was very sick. She had a very high fever. And Jesus just simply went over to her and held out his hand, and she took his hand, and immediately she was better, and she got up and she started to serve them. And I'm thinking food probably because they were very, very tired, and they were out all day healing and being with a lot of people. And by the end of the night and the next morning, early in the morning, Jesus got up and he went to a very, very quiet place. And he started to pray, probably thanking God because all of his power, all of his healing power came from God. And I know Jesus was very thankful for that he could help so many people. And he wanted to let us know that going to prayer was just as important to us as it was to him. And all of our children said, amen. Thanks for joining me this morning.